tweet it here.
And I think we're live here, so I'll put on some hot lounge music while it shows up on X.
Yeah, don't be monitored.
No, it's just loungy.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I could sing some Nickelback, and that would be a shame if you get monetized from that.
Is that your favorite? Is it your favorite Canadian band, or is it Avril Lavigne? I don't know.
Wow.
I know who your favorite Canadian actor is, Ryan Reynolds. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I love Ryan Reynolds too. Did you ever watch that show 15 on Nickelodeon?
No.
Oh my gosh, it was like literally him and a bunch of other 15-year-old actors doing like high school drama. It was great.
Live there.
And he was just a very young Ryan Reynolds.
A very cute.
He was adorable. Had this little gap.
No, he is. Oh yeah. Do you see it on X yet?
Yeah, I see it.
I posted it.
Posting it.
All right.
Live. Well, I missed my chance to say live right now. I said live right now.
Right meow. Not so funny meow. Have you seen Super Troopers, right, Kat?
Yes.
Yeah. That's probably the best scene in movies ever, right meow. Yeah. Anyway.
Don't show our age. Like, that's totally, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, that is.
I'm so old. Super Troopers was like a recent movie.
I think that's called dementia.
I remember it was really hot when it was like really exciting. That it finally came out on the Blockbuster shelves.
All right, Tracker.
Super Troopers in now.
Wait, what's Blockbuster? I have no idea.
That thing that we old people used to watch movies on, before you could just stream it directly to your computer or television set.
There's so much I can learn from you. I don't know if I want to.
The technology is so weird. And you had to like rewind all those tapes before you brought them back, or they charge you a rewinding fee.
Yeah. What do you think about this computer stuff? I mean, that's kind of cool.
I don't know if I trust these newfangled computer devices. Okay.
Oh God, here we go again. All right, let's turn off this music and get down to business, huh?
We gave you guys a chance to get in here while we just do our little banter, but now we are going live, and we're in a little bit not in a rush, but we would like to be wrapped up before the vice president's debate at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's our goal, to wrap up early.
I mean, that is still within 2 hours, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you'd be surprised how long-winded we can be. But anyway, yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, it's like an hour and a half.
Snozberries taste like snozberries. Yes, Matt Johnson, that's correct.
Wait, isn't it 9:30 Eastern Standard Time? Because that's
I think it's 9. I thought it was 9. Was it 9:30?
That's an hour. I'm sorry, 9 o'clock. So that's an hour and a half from now, or an hour and 26 minutes from now.
Lightning round with the Tracker to begin with. That's what we're gonna do.
No, I thought we were gonna do Matt and the
Matt speed. Okay,
we're gonna try to make me great again. That's what we're gonna.
I hope you can
Matt speed great again. I've got my hat on and my cat whiskers, just like in the picture. I love that picture. It's so funny. I'm not a MAGA Republican, but I'm also not so left wing that I take offense at that. I thought it was hilarious. I love that MAGA hat. Make Gatsby.
NAGA hat. Anyway. All right, let's get down to business, shall we?
Yes.
Okay, so we're just gonna go a brief overview of the markets to see how they did today, and just since yesterday was the monthly candle close, I'm gonna start on the monthly charts just for the SPY and the QQQ IWM. So if you look at what happened today, it's basically nothing, right? And it's just down 0.9%. And what that kind of means is it maybe a temporary top? Possibly, maybe. I mean, there's one way to kind of find out, and I'm going to do a little linear scale Fibonacci extension, and maybe not, right? Maybe it's not a temporary top. Maybe it just wants to go down to the 1.618. And maybe that is 561.48, and maybe that's another 7 points lower. So I can see that happening, and while everybody's panicking it's going to collapse, I can just see it retesting that 1.618, and that's it. So it already did the 1.272 before, so there's really no need to go back there. and the 1.414, so there's no need to go back there. So a simple back test of this 561.48 could be necessary. So I don't think anybody needs to panic. And then now we got...
I'm kidding.
I'm freaking out. Everybody panic. Yeah, anyways.
I don't need to. I want to.
Cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria.
Woohoo.
That's from Ghostbusters.
And now we got the QQQ on my screen for the monthly chart, and we can see that it also looks very, very bullish, right? Very bullish. Mm-hmm. And does it want to go to this green level next around 530s? Well, let's find out. Let's do another little Fibonacci right here from here to here. And, ooh, maybe it just wants to go back down to 472, but maybe it doesn't because it already did that for many months in a row, right? Many months in a row. It did that here.
It's been proved already.
Yeah, it did here, like so many times. So maybe, even if it did, it's no big deal. And what did price close at today? 481.27. So, yeah, 472.65. That'll be my support for the month of the QQQ. And sure, it could wick below, but I think it's going to close the month above that. So the reason why I'm showing you all these extensions, just to show you that on a month-to-month basis, nothing is damaged at all. And all it did is the first day of the month, it just wanted to, the market makers just wanted to cause some fear and panic. And that's what they did. But still, it was only down 1.39% today. And lastly, the IWM here. We'll go pull this up. And I have that 3.618 fib from last cycle here. Let me just take some of this off. And on a month-to-month basis, it never even went back to the 209 either for this month. I mean, it just started, but that could be your monthly support, that conversion line down there. But I'm just going to take that off to show some things. And let's do a more recent fib just to see how this looks right here from there to here.
Take that off and show some things. Do it.
Yeah.
Bow, chicka, wow, wow.
And well, one thing I noticed, it's getting rejected by the ARC, right? That's one thing that's happening here on linear scale. And another thing is getting rejected by that 702 fib as well. So could it come back down for a third month in a row to back test that 212 level there, the 618? Of course it could. So I think that's kind of your max pain scenario. A wick through there could be possible, but still very bullish chart month to month. You can just see how it's just grinding higher and higher and higher and higher, and it's holding this 45-degree angle perfectly. So yeah, those fib levels that I mentioned, I think on all the indices, that's your like max pain scenario, and maybe a wick through there, right? Because a month is long, they can wick through it however deep they want, but I think it's going to close the month above those levels regardless. So with that said, Tesla.
Well, that was fast.
I'm just looking over here, and at my IWM chart, if it backtested 212 and wanted to touch the edge of this triangle here, that's like October 21st. Are we going to spend like the first half of October just testing supports?
Could be.
Wait, is that a question for us?
I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there.
But that's been the trend so far, and recency bias. I know somebody mentioned that today to me, but I mean, it's just the trend. I don't really care about recency bias. I just notice it's a trend. Like they wick through levels and then they close it above. So this is a possibility. Yeah, for maybe this week or next, they could wick it below on all of them.
Would you indulge me and show me your weekly chart?
Weekly IWM, yeah.
And then the Ichimoku.
Yeah.
Well, okay. And then the baseline's where?
The baseline is at 209.99.
209. So, but if like maybe next week it'll be a little higher.
Yeah.
Like maybe 212.
The baseline, probably not. It'll probably be the same because it's probably going to be the same low and the same high.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. That's how it's calculated.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, but like Matt says, don't be scared of it. It can wick down there and still close the month at the same level right now or a little higher.
Yeah, but I'm anticipating that those fib levels that I mentioned in all three are probably going to be the targets. So that's what my anticipation is. So if it doesn't happen, then great. Like, but if it does happen, it's not going to catch me off guard.
Right. So I've seen a lot of charts doing sort of like they had the 1-2, and they're starting to take off for their wave one of their third wave, their minor wave one of the third wave, and now they're kind of falling back a little bit. So I wonder if the IWM pulls back to 212, then maybe a lot of the small caps that have started taking off and look really good might just get an extended wider flat for that wave two.
Yeah, it's a possibility.
Okay, just thinking out loud in my head there.
And Kat, you have a chart. I see you pulled up. You want to share?
Yeah, I can show something here. I mean, it's going to be real quick. The daily chart for, let me take off the Ichimoku cloud here. Man, way to put me on the spot there without warning. No, it's fine.
Because you never do that to us, Kat.
Does this look like it could hold this as a daily chart for SPY?
Yes.
Right. I mean, like you might have a little bit more room to go down, but maybe even like to 360. I can totally see that. You know, just a few more points down. But this looks like a pretty nice pattern for a back test, doesn't it? I mean, yeah, just on a lower time frame. I don't generally look at that lower time frame, but it just doesn't. Even on like higher time frame on the weekly, you can see, you know, what I'm talking about here. So I'm not really that bearish. If anything, it looks a little bit like a flag. It's just kind of consolidating sideways here a little bit. On IWM, like I'm seeing a little bit like a ascending triangle type pattern here. You know,
that's the same one I got.
Yeah, so you know you got your triangles, you got your ascending triangles, and these things are generally not bearish. I mean, they could go down in a short time and go down another few points down to like 210 again, and that would be like, you know, pretty painful. We could close the gap over here, sure. You know, it'd be nice, I guess. Gives me a little bit more chance to load up on, you know, TNA, and you know I would not object to that, but I can totally see that happening. There are a couple other things here too that I kind of want to look at. One is the Dixie. I know Matt doesn't really believe in Dixie all that much. He's a Yankee.
Right,
so, yeah. Let me see. Yeah.
It's part of the process.
It's part
of making me great again.
So I think the US dollar index, the SPY, looks like it wants to go south of the Mason-Dixon line here. You know, it looks like it's breaking underneath the monthly cloud, and it looks like you already had the bearish cross a year ago, and it's finally broken underneath the cloud here. It could backtest the cloud up here and cause a little bit more fear, but that would be a dead Cantonese bounce, you know, and that would be, yeah, I think that would be bullish for the market. The only thing, I guess, Wix, I still think that it may have a little bit more higher to go potentially. I don't like the fact that the VIX has kind of broken above the cloud. But, you know, it's not the end-all be-all. So it basically just means that you have more volatility. Sometimes volatility is needed before things go up higher. So I'm not really that bothered by it, but just a little bit bothered by it. Also, you know, like the 20-week is kind of like curling up here a little bit too for the VIX. So it's starting to look a little bit more bullish for the VIX. So I don't really like that. You know, it could potentially gravitate to like the upper Bollinger Band here again. But yeah, maybe that's just kind of short-term stuff. Long-term, if you talk about long-term, I always go back to IWM because that's really like the heart of the American economy. That's where like liquidity really goes through every single cycle. It's a lot more sensitive to cycles than like the SPY. Like the SPY just looks like just going up straight, right? But IWM really looks like there's more cycles to it, right?
Yeah.
So right now, I think we've really kind of broken the down cycle. It looks like it's just been going up, you know. I mean, if you're into the whole bearish thing, I guess this could potentially be a ascending wedge here. Oh no, like it's going to break down. It's going to go down to like 100, you know. But no, I think it's just forming higher highs and higher lows. And I just cannot ignore the fact that the Tenkan and the Kijun, the conversion base are still nicely separating. And that's always, you know, beginning of a pretty long bull market, you know. So I'm not that scared long term. Short term, sure, it can come all the way back to like 210, which is where the monthly conversion is at, you know. But like I don't really care. So yeah, that's all I got.
And Tracker, you got something too?
No, let's not. I'm gonna. Well, yeah, sure. Show me. Here's IWM. It basically have the same, you know, what could be thought of as an ascending wedge, but I just look at this. This is a 1 hour chart. It's a pretty short time scale. It looks like it's just trying to. This is a bullish triangle, and we've had the 1, 2, well, 1, 2, 3. It needs one more touch in the bottom before it breaks out, because this move up here invalidated that touch. So, well, or can we look at it this way? Nah, it feels to me like it does want to come back down here and touch this, like
Yeah.
211, 212, just one last time, and then really break out. And as far as Fibonacci sequences go, actually I need to pull back. Let's go to a weekly chart. Yeah, basically it went more than 100%, actually like to 110%, and then back tested 50%. So my target's the 150% next, and maybe I'm cheaping out on it. Maybe it really wants to go to the 1618. So that's almost, that's like 70 points higher for IWM. Once it does get this breakout, it just looks like it wants to back test the top of this, oh, I'm sorry, the bottom of this triangle one more time. That's pretty much it. Looks like, see, look, I've got all these GAN lines that I kind of filled in. This one right here, it was oscillating around it. It used to be resistance, and now it looks like it turned it to support. And so it's trying to get on top of these other lines up here. So yeah, I'm with you, Kat. I can't be bearish on this chart at all. Just maybe a little bit more sideways movement to, as I said, I kind of line this up, and it looks like it wants to touch right here, October 21st. Maybe it could run out faster if it's willing to go a little bit lower. That's it. That's all I got.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty important concept. If it goes down lower, it can run out faster, because a lot of people don't understand that. Like, they think going down is a bad thing. Actually, going down is a great thing. You go down a little bit, and then you get what you really want. So,
Yes.
why are you guys laughing?
Nothing. No reason. So, yeah, it's like every time I see one of Danny's, like a red candle, then a yellow
he brings
candle.
up Danny too.
Well, no, I was just thinking, like,
okay.
I'm thinking 1, 2, 1, 2s, right? So like every time, we're doing like a 5-wave move up, and here's the red candle followed by a yellow candle, which quickly becomes invalidated, and that's your 1, 2, and then you get a 3, 4. You get red. It's red candle all the way up here. Then you get a yellow candle, and then it flips to red candle again. It's we're always going to see these 1, 2, 1, 2s everywhere, and a lot of times they nest and overlap. So you end up getting charts that they look like this, and things just got going, and so they're pulling back again. They're like, oh no, wait, I thought we were going to go up to here, and it's pulling back. Is it going to hold? Is all things collapsing? No, it's just a minor wave 2, into the minor wave 3, which finishes up at the greater wave 3, and this is all nested inside of a wave, and that's nested inside of a wave, and so it just, the whole thing. There's a lot of pushing and pulling in the market, and it's just all part of Elliott wave theory and how humans behave, how we make our decisions based on fear and greed.
Yep.
The cycle, the wheel goes around and around.
Yep. We got a few requests, but we're going to probably save them to the end, in case you guys wondering, because we do want to go through some of the major charts and trying to keep the show a little bit more organized, by showing the market here first, and then probably go to your favorite chart right here, which tracker is pulling up right here.
Yep, here's Tesla, and this is a brand new chart. I want to just show you let's see. So here's just a trend retracement, and all I did was I took the all-time high 414.50, and I retraced to some part back here in time. I think I picked 940, which happens right about. I think think it happens right. Oh, it's right here. February 1st of 2017. And look, it looks really good as far as retracements go. Price came down really, it kind of came to the 50% level, then went back to the two. Here, I'll just chart it like this way. From this top, it pulled down to the 50% level, went up to the 236, and then down to the 764. And that's it. That's all we did for a retrace. And now we're in the next set of waves up. So it's easy to see that this is a wave start. Here's your wave 1, your wave 2, and now we're starting a new wave 3, which is why I pulled up a fib extension that takes us from down here to, oh, I'm sorry, that's a smaller degree wave extension. Well, yeah, let's just go with that one. So the smaller degree that goes from the 101 low to the 300 high, the 138.80 low. And that looks like it's kind of what we're following here. I've tracked this one as coming just under the 414.50 high. You'll see like how these fibs, where they match up is right here at this 1382 and the 0%. They're very, very close to each other right there. Also right here, the 50% and the 382. And we're trying to, well, no, we already got over the 58, the 382 here. And this 50% retracement back to like a way back in history, not the one Matt and I've been talking about between 414.50 and 101 51. But right here, it looks like we're going to go to yeah, just under the 414.50 high to about 411, back test to 336, and then on up to 609.20. Looks really good from here. And I think we could hit that. We could be testing the all-time high, like as a Santa rally, post-Santa rally, which means by December 2nd, maybe, we'll be at this 384 level. That's what I'm hoping. I really want to see us get over 330 before the end of the year. And this looks like a really good way to get it done. And so right now we're just struggling at this 61.8% extension. Once we can get over it, test back to it as support, then we can move on up to the 764, which gets us it gets us over this 271 high here, and gets us a lot closer to just under this 299.29 high. So I'm just going to publish this chart and tonight, and I'll just keep reposting it over and over again, because I really feel strongly that this is the one that we're going to get. That's it. Hopefully 414 by January 2nd, or 411 by January 2nd. We get another April low like we did down here, back testing 336, and then on up to the 23.8% fib extension to 609, maybe next, like 2025 Santa rally. And that's my story. I'm sticking to it.
You think 300 is going to be a pretty important resistance?
Yeah, it's going to definitely, when we get to here.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, the 76 point. I suppose if it wanted to really test it, just like, no, not on this chart. Like maybe you could go to a weird fib in between, like 0.886.
Yeah.
Actually, let me see where that one is. 0.88.
Yeah. It'd probably be like a subwave, and yeah, it'd be a little bit of resistance there, I would imagine. But
Yeah, look, see the 886 is 313. No, I guess it has to be like something like 70. Anyway, yeah. Don't worry about it. It'll, of course, every time we hit, we're going to be, the market's going to be looking back and seeing these major points, and then it's going to fight each one of them. 300, 318, and then 414.50. Even if we did get a crazy, like if we have like another down day or down week or down half of a month, maybe at worst it comes down to like 237.50 one more time, or that 244 I was looking at earlier today. Here, I'll show you this other chart. So here's the halfway point, 258.15. Matsby and I are bullish above it, and if you get under it, we're just kind of like short-term bearish until it'll test supports until it can get over 258.15 and turn it into support. And right here, I noticed that this is the hourly chart. The moving average 200, and the hourly is coming right up on. Actually, we crossed it today. Never mind. Well, here's the weekly S1. I thought we might hit this monthly pivot point. The monthly pivot point all month long for Tesla is 244.78. So I don't know if if you went on technical analysis by pivots, that'd be a pretty important one to, it wicked right through it here in September. Maybe it just touches back to it once and then lifts off again. And that could be a wick. So, worst case scenario, maybe just 244.78. And then better case scenario, we already had it and it's done. It looked like a really nice touch back to 250 and went off, but then it dipped just a little lower.
Yeah, those wicks, those
wicks.
little wicks.
But don't fear the wicks, just their buying opportunities.
Yeah.
Only worry about if the candle closes like in some terrible place, then
Yeah.
you can start to fear a little bit. But we're not bearish on this.
Yeah.
Long-term bullish, absolutely, all the way to 609. And I've got another chart that does the larger degree wave off of the all-time low, 414 high to the 101 low. And that takes us up to 1,000.
Yeah.
We follow that one.
I agree. I think 600 is a good level to be at, and then 1,000 is another good level to be at. I think both of those probably are getting hit sometime in the 2020s. That's my guess.
Yeah,
I know Matt's thinking about like 5,000 in 2030s, which I also think is possible.
Oh yeah.
but yeah, like 600, 1,000, like those are some rough numbers, like based on Fibonacci, based on Gans.
600,000. Is that what you said?
Yeah, 600,000. Yeah.
Yeah. In a couple of years, you won't care what price you want Tesla as long as you want it. Like this year.
Yeah. So I just bought a Tesla Model 3.
Yay! Congratulations.
It's kind of a pretty amazing experience. I'm bullish.
And you tried out the full self-driving.
No, but I think I'll get it.
It's amazing. I test drove a Highland and I let it do the full self-driving.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is just where am I? I'm in the future now. This is great.
Yeah.
And that was an earlier version of full self-driving where you had to touch the steering wheel.
Yeah, no, I test drove it too and did some FSD. It was pretty incredible. Yeah, I mean, like, there's some people who argue like, yeah, China can do that too. Actually, I'm not sure. And even if they do, they're also very heavily subsidized. So it's a little bit different. Anyway, yeah, you want me to show like a little few things here on the Tesla chart here? I can.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even gonna. I'm just gonna first, like, somebody comment on. Do you guys not take into account a pretty clear repeating pattern that has been going for the last 3-ish years? I don't know what you mean by repeating pattern. I mean, like, you have like these camel humps over here. Is that what you mean? Or are you talking about like these kind of little patterns like over here? Is that what you mean? Thanks. Yeah, I love my Model 3. Are you talking about the fact that like Tesla basically every single time it looks like it's going to roll over, but it doesn't? It just keeps going higher. Every single time it looks like it's going to roll over, it doesn't. It just keeps going higher. Every single time it looks like it wants to form a little bit of a rounded top here, it doesn't. It just want to go higher. Every single time it wants to form a little bit of a rounded top over here, it doesn't. It just want to go higher. Every time, the same thing happened over and over again, right? Yeah. So is that the kind of pattern that you're talking about? Or is it the kind of pattern you're talking about where things just kind of consolidate sideways for a few years and just kind of goes up, as Matt's scan chart is showing, as what Tracker's daily waves are showing? Is it what you're talking about? It's hard to know exactly what you're referring to.
I mean, just look at it now. It looks like it's trying to turn up harder.
Yeah.
It's testing up more than it's testing down.
Yeah, three pops. Three pops then drop. It's going to be one of those things that would work until it doesn't. I think the overall prevailing trend is that it always looks like it wants to roll over, but it doesn't. It's surprised at upside. That's what the personality of this stock is. I want to show you guys one thing. If you're into moving averages, the 20 is over, the 50 is over 100 on the weekly. Like, over the last few weeks, this is like a full weekly bull trend. That hasn't really happened for a very long time.
Nice.
Like that hasn't, like none of it. It broke down around like May of 2022, and this hasn't stacked to the right side until like September. So, and the last time this ended up started developing was really right around here, around December 2019. Just something to think about. I mean, granted, you're gonna have some oscillation here and there. Oops, someone's calling me. You gotta have some oscillation here and there. Like here, it didn't really materialize into like a whole full bull trend, right? But I think that there's a lot of great potentials here that it could end up doing.
Well, he just said the 3 pops and the big drop.
That's what I saw that 3 pops and a big drop. I guess is what you're referring to. I mean, it works until it doesn't. Are you referring to like maybe this is like pop number 1, pop number 2, pop number 3, and then a big drop? I mean, I don't like at some point this is a growing asset. At some point, it's still a growth company, even though there are some slumps in a few quarters. But anyway, regardless, I'm not going to talk too much about fundamentals here. Just looking at the pattern, I'm not really that bearish on the current pattern either, right? It looks like there's a double bottom over here. Looks like there's a little bit of like a cup and handle here that broke out. Looks like there's a very nice like invert head and shoulder. If you want to go for those kind of things, it's just everything just looks kind of bullish, right? And also the supply side has really decelerated. You can clearly see that the supply zone has really been exhausted, right? Whereas the demand zone has clearly been coming in. This is no lie, So I'm just gonna say that I think it's gonna break out, and then finally I'm just gonna give you a little bit of update here on Ichimoku on the 2-week chart here, where once this thing breaks, I think all hell's gonna break loose. But that might be a reason why it hasn't broken yet. So anyway, I'm gonna answer that call.
Still stuck in the cloud a little bit.
It's stuck in the cloud. It's been stuck in the cloud for like 2 or 3 years now. And that's just kind of what it does. It got stuck in underneath resistance here, trying to break through, build up a lot of energy, eating supply above. Demand continues to increase, and this thing's going to pop. That's kind of how I see it.
All right. Did you say you had to answer your call?
Yeah, I'll be back in maybe like 5 minutes. Yep.
Go ahead. That's fine. Hey, Matt, do you want me to stall the audience with NVIDIA, or do you want to go next?
Yeah, I'll just go pull up my chart here.
Please go right ahead.
So yeah, on X, Tesla. So on my X today, I did post a 4-hour chart, and I said back tests are good, right? And that's exactly what it did. It back tested the baseline there, and it wicked through it completely, and then it recovered completely as well. But the one thing that is noticeable though is both these 4-hour candles, even the after hours one just now, did not make it back up above the 258.15. So is that like an indication that maybe it does kind of want to roll over a little bit further? I mean, it is a possibility, something to consider at least, because it did hold that baseline for now, but maybe that's just the first touch, and then maybe the second touch will kind of roll over. And I think maybe when we look at the daily chart here, we can see it even touched the daily conversion line too. So does it really need to go lower right now? No, because that's kind of like the first touch since it broke out too. So the only thing I'm really considering or looking at the whole time is this 50% level, that 258.15 right up there. Because if more days do continue to hold above it, then I think the chance of basically closing the week above it again would be greater and greater too. So not too sure if it's really ready to go back down lower, because it was a successful back test already today on the 4-hour and on the daily. So we'll see what price develops, but I'm liking this development so far, and it's just still looking like a huge breakout, and there's really not even a back test besides that wick today. So still a very, very, very bullish chart, no matter which way you look at it. But again, I'm looking for a weekly close over 258.15, and to me, nothing else really matters. So we'll see what happens on Friday, but I do like this chart, and I do think pullbacks, no matter how deep, whether it's 248, even the 230s again, no matter how deep, I think that's a super opportunity for the future. Yeah.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah. Oh yeah, deliveries tomorrow.
Yep.
I don't know if that's gonna really, I mean, do too
It's
much.
hard to tell if like the deliveries will be like a big thing or if it'll just kind of like swept under the carpet. Even if it's a really good number, if it gets swept under the carpet under like the Middle East news or whatever.
Yeah.
We'll
Not too
see.
sure.
We'll have to see what the news media has planned for us tomorrow. But
Well, one last thing I wanted to point out is the log-based fib from the all-time high to the January 23 low. You can see it's just exactly in the middle of the 618 and the 702. So it's just floating there. So I guess that is basically saying, okay, deliveries can send it higher to 270s or it can send it back to the 240s, right? But either way, it's still above the 618 on log scale, above 242.44. And I think being above this 242.44 is the utmost importance because you can just draw that, go straight across, use that line here, 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 here. Like even it was a wick over here before, it was a previous support and resistance zone. So I think no matter what, if it went to 242, I think I might even buy more because that is a great, great, great opportunity to do it. And I don't even need to buy anymore, but I think I'm going to if it does. So we'll see.
You're going to.
And I'll be buying it if it breaks 272, 271. I'll be like, all right, sure. Now I can tell it's actually going to do something. I'll buy my 2x TSLL bullish ETF and I'll watch it just rise up and it can be just done with all this going up and down and up and down and up and down stuff.
Yeah, but the structure just looks more and more bullish over time. Like it's just looking like it wants to break out. So,
and one thing is interesting too. It's like it's almost above both the conversion and the baseline still on the 4-hour chart too. So it makes you wonder how things are really going to open tomorrow, and maybe the numbers will just make it explode higher more. It's kind of like it feels really bullish, this 4-hour chart. It really does.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see
the
how
daily
it
chart.
pre-market.
Daily chart looks good too. I mean, just look at the daily. It's like standing right on top of the conversion.
Yeah. I talked about that already, Kat, when you were on the phone.
From a fundamental side, Suman Kudel makes a good point in the chat here. He's saying that they got the best energy news with the last time they did deliveries. They did deliveries and energy like really surprised. And he's hoping this time they include like full self-driving revenue in that report as well. So that'd be kind of cool to see. And hopefully I hope to see like lots of increase in energy revenue as well.
Yeah.
From the fundamental side that I don't usually care about. But it's always fun to look at.
Is it true like the Cybertruck can power a house for like a few days?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, like from the hurricane, I bet a lot of people lost power. Like that would have been a great option.
So, yeah, you can power a whole house. They offer, if you get the Foundation Cybertruck, they'll install the system for you as part of the Foundation system series, so that you can you not only charge your Cybertruck from your house, but that your house can power. Your Cybertruck can power the whole house. And then they've shown people like charging up other Tesla Model 3s and stuff from a Cybertruck. It's pretty funny.
It's like a power cell. And
running around. It's a big, powerful battery.
It's amazing.
And one last thing for those trend line lovers out there. It's back above it. Right. Well, how would you draw it? Would you draw it from the wicks like right here, or would you?
Doesn't matter where you draw it. Like at this point, it doesn't matter.
I'll just go to the tippy top of that wick, and like look at that. It's up there. It's just broke out again. V bottom breakout. So no matter which way you look at it, this chart is bullish with the higher lows too. Higher low, higher low, higher low, and it's about to make a higher high. And when it makes a higher high, then I'll be like super bullish and be like, everybody needs a lot of Tesla. Yeah.
Can I ask you a distracting question?
Yeah.
So would you rather buy Tesla at 240 or buy Mara at 431?
Mara at 431.
Isn't that what we hit this morning or this evening after hours?
431. That's a pretty low number. Right now it's in the teens.
Oh, yeah, wait, maybe I got.
You're talking about Wolf, but maybe.
Oh, Wolf. Yes, I'm watching.
Oh, I was gonna be like Mara. I'm like, did I miss something?
Yeah, they have a 1-to-2 split. No, whatever.
I'm sorry, I messed that segue up.
He's referring to WULF.
SMCI did have a good split though, but we'll see. Well, yeah. Anyways, would I rather have WULF? Sorry, now you got me
WULF,
messed up.
Yeah.
WULF,
You guys have WULF at 431 or Tesla at 240?
I mean, both charts are good, but this one,
No.
it's looks like it wants to go to the next level. Yeah. No, I think no matter what, I want Tesla. I love Tesla. I think the exponentiality, if that's a word, is really good.
Yes.
Still, it is now.
Yeah, I'm going to put it in the dictionary. Exponentiality.
Someone just,
yeah, but I love WULF though.
Yeah. I was trying to answer Simon's question real quick. Can you please check how strong 271 is in resistance? It's very strong because that's the last highest high that we had. It's got to beat that before it can quote unquote break out and test the next resistance higher. So, right so far, Tesla's just been asymptotically approaching 271 without actually doing the test yet. So, yeah. But if it can get above it, then it can test the next level higher.
What we're seeing though is even more resistance before that 271 with just all these little wicks touching like here, right? Even 265 is resistance, that's why it's not getting to that 271 yet. But I think once it gets above the 265, then it'll be like a gimme, like in, putting when you're just like a little bit away from the hole, right? It'll be a gimme to just close a week above the 271. So I'm really just watching 265 for daily candle closes consecutively. Let's see. Yeah. So that being said, in NVIDIA time.
Sure.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't think people are that excited about NVIDIA anymore, which is exactly why I think it might be doing just fine.
That's exactly why you should be excited about it. Well, I'm excited about this day.
Sorry, I was going to say the best time to buy a stock is when nobody cares about it.
That's true, but everybody should be more excited about successful backtests. That's what I think.
Yeah,
because that is where the action happens. Like a breakout above the cloud. And now it's back testing again. Like, come on, this is what you want to be excited about. You don't want to be excited when it's like all the way up here already. You want to be excited down here because then you can enjoy all that up there, right? But at the same time, it's still making lower highs, right? Lower high. So am I excited about it for the long run? Yes. But for the short term, I still think it's just going to be stuck in a range. And whether it holds this cloud and goes back to 108 or not, it's still yet to be determined. But it's, to me, I just see it in one giant range of like 108 up to 130. That's how I view it as. And to me, it's just boring until it breaks one or the other.
Boring.
Yeah. But also, let me go to my log scale chart because
I thought that was like your little, like a bird that was talking. Boring.
Yeah.
It's so adorable.
Well, and also my log scale chart too. This is 122. I really needed above 122 to get excited about it too. So daily candles, weekly candles above 122. Then I'll be like, okay, maybe NVIDIA, it's time to go higher now. But it's just doing nothing. It's still getting rejected by 122. It's still like just in a range from the all-time high to that August 5th low. It's just basically in that range. And I need to see something go higher than my levels before I can say, yes, it's going higher. And so far, I don't see it.
Okay. I'm sorry you were talking. No, just
all right, Kat. Let's see your screen then. Come on.
I'm bored.
I'll do mine next.
Oh, right. Okay.
Oh, you want to do it?
I'm supposed to do mine next, and then Kat's supposed to show me. Tell everyone why.
You do it. You do it.
Okay. So here's my NVIDIA chart. I still am looking for it to. It lost this 50% level. 618 has been the resistance up here at 129.11 since it got this 764, almost a 764 for the all-time high, 140.99. And so now it's checking fibs down 618, 50%. It lost below the 50%. I think it wants to just based on this triangle here, I think it wants one more touch of the 382 at 108.68. And it could get that tomorrow. I mean, look at what it did over this week. and today. So yeah, I'm just looking for one last touch of 108.68 and then onwards and upwards. That's it. That's all I got to say. And, oh, and then this target goes to like 182. So, and and then past that it goes all the way up to 250 for the all 5 waves of this particular chart. So very bullish on NVIDIA. Once it, I mean, really from here is fine. It's only $10 difference. 10% drop.
It's not that big of a difference.
But if we get it,
yeah.
then buy the hell out of that. And if we don't get it, then go ahead and buy it anyway, because NVIDIA's gonna be great. That's it. That's all I got to say. What do you think about 108.68, Cat?
I think it's possible. I mean, it's not impossible. I mean, I can kind of show you as to why that.
Oh, right. It was Palantir we're
possible.
supposed to argue about. Sorry, go do. Let's see your NVIDIA.
Yeah. Oh, it's real quick, and I'm not going to spend more than like a couple minutes here. I think we're here. I think we're here, and I think we're here.
Oh yeah.
We'll probably here, right? I think that's where we are, which basically means that you might have another 2.5, 3x whenever it's done consolidating to finish up the cycle. And it depends on how long cycle can last. It can last for like 18 months, or it can last for another 10 months. I don't know. I mean, I think that it probably end up going to maybe like the 300s somewhere up here whenever it's done consolidating. It could probably go down to like the 108 zone. I believe that if it comes back down, if the Tenkan or the conversion line continues to kind of go up here, maybe we'll hit that. I mean, I think it's entirely possible, right? And I also think that based on the Ichimoku, like that's exactly where the baseline is located right here. Can it go back down and test the baseline? I think it's entirely possible too. Right now the base is 108.18. So those are some pretty confluent levels over there you're talking about. One thing I do want to show that you may not like is the Bollinger Band. Look at how contractive it is now.
When did that happen?
Yeah. Well, because we started a new month and it didn't do anything, so the standard deviation is decreasing. Like it's decreasing significantly. It would, yeah, it would. I mean, like over here, that's exactly when the Bollinger Band starts to kind of contract, right? Like over here is exactly where the Bollinger Band starts to contract, right? Because these things are based on standard deviation. So you have another month that does nothing. The volatility has significantly decreased, and you're having a contraction of the Bollinger Band. Now, there's only one day to the month so far, right? Next thing you know, if this thing goes to the upper Bollinger Band to like the 140s, which I think is possible. Whatever you think, like I think it's still possible. Or next month, if it goes up to like 140s, or even like to like 170s, whatever it wants to do, like breaks out about the 120, level that Matt's talking about, then you might end up having like a little bit of re-expansion of Bollinger Band. Even this month, if you just kind of hit like the upper Bollinger Band over here, I think you end up delaying the like huge contraction of the Bollinger Band here. But yeah, I think it's very possible that we're hitting an area where the bull trend is getting exhausted with the Bollinger Band contraction, and we might have another like year and a half to go, and you can still have a pretty decent run up, but the bull trend looks like it might be really starting to get exhausted here. So granted, I do think the next 3 months are probably going to be pretty decent. I do think Q4 is probably going to be like another breakout candle, and if we end the year like in 200, I think the Bollinger Band like all get all the way back down here again. But yeah, so far it's cool. It is what it is.
Your crazy Bollinger animal will end up with two forelegs then.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's kind of like a nipple in the middle,
Well, whatever you say, trackers. Yeah, that's
I just love that Meet the Parents. Oh, you can milk anything that's got nipples. Robert
is it because I'm a cat? Is it because I'm a cat?
Okay, obviously.
Yeah.
Suman asks, is there no chance of NVIDIA reaching $86 to $76? No, I see zero chance. Very
little.
I'll come out and flatly say zero chance. Cat will say very little chance.
I would say that would be equivalent. Well, I'm not going to make any more merit jokes here. But anyway, yeah.
I'm going to go with -0 since Tracker said 0.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, that's really good. That's smart.
No.
All right, it would be like Mad, Tracker, Danny, and I. We're all married to each other in like a fun
And
way.
we have our own
Yeah, that
like
would be
Lifetime network channel, Lifetime network movie. Yeah.
yeah. We can make it a reality show, except that unlikely to happen. Anyway, Palantir, Bitcoin, and then
Okay.
open up to the floor. Yeah,
Yeah. The,
yeah.
yeah,
Matt, you
there
want to
is
start
a
Palantir?
leveraged ETF, but we can talk about that later. Yeah, I see that.
Yeah,
The
we'll do a little bit of
ITMs,
lightning
right?
round later, and then we'll go to the yeah, because we have another like 38 minutes, so let's do it. Palantir, 5 minutes.
5 minutes, you
That's
say?
it.
Okay, let me.
Yeah, 5 minutes. So which means 2 minutes for you, 2 minutes for Tracker, and 1 minute for me.
All right, let me pull up my chart here. Where's my button? There it is. All right, so here's Palantir, and I just wanted to show the loss of momentum on the 4-hour chart. And we could see it clearly what happened when it started back here on Thursday of last week, how it just basically was underneath the baseline the whole time, and it stayed that way the whole time, even with Monday's good candles, right? So that was kind of an indicator that maybe price wanted to go down a little bit lower. But one thing I do notice that even though it's below that 786 right now, it's still in the zone, and it's still basically like holding levels pretty well. Like no matter where you draw a line, it seems like the levels are holding. So if this like gets broken, let's just say 36 even. If 36 even gets broken, then I think it'll probably go back down to 33. But if it doesn't, then I think it has still a very good chance of just holding this and building a base around these levels and then going back above. So 36 is my line in the sand really for Palantir. It's nothing except for like previous candles like being in that range basically, right? Maybe even a little bit lower to like 35, high 35s. But basically, I think the momentum did get lost a little bit, but it has the opportunity to reclaim it very easily. And I think just maybe a few more days, we'll find out which direction it really wants to go, maybe by the end of the week. But daily chart going back here, it did start closing daily candles again underneath the conversion line. It did it once before, but then the next day on Monday it closed above, but now it's back below. So it's like a battle now at the 786. So we'll see which way will win. But either way, I think it would be good to come back down to 33. I really do, because that would be an opportunity, but not sure if market makers are going to allow it or not. We'll see.
All right. Well, I've got a chart.
Oh wait, I
do
want to show. Sorry, I wanted to show my log scale chart real quick, and that angle is getting into play right now too. So that one angle that I mentioned before, after it broke out, it's getting into play, and it's still holding as support. So that the bottom of that angle really sits right there around 3630. So that's kind of in line with that 36 zone, and it did kind of wick to exactly 3605 today. So basically, I'm keeping an eye on this angle, and if it maintains it as support too, then it's going to go to 40. So that's what I'm looking at. And now it's your turn, Tracker.
Well,
Yeah,
dang,
we'll do chart requests later. We get the SOFI later.
Yeah, we'll get to it. So Palantir, just because of the chart that I drew, I really want to see it come back to after hitting 764, a little lower than 382, up to the 1382. Normally, it would come back to the 100%, which would be 3159. So I kind of really want to see 3159, but after seeing Matt's chart, I kind of really don't want to see 3159. I'd love to see his 36 level kind of hold there because it looks so pretty on his Gann chart. I kind of want to be wrong about this. But my technical analysis says would say it would come back to 3159 and then run back up again. And it could just be really, see how long the second wave was. And even like back to here, like really that whole, this is like a really long extended wider flat. It's a lot of hopes and dreams crushed and then brought back to life again, like a phoenix from the ashes. So this wave 4 would be very short. I mean, if it did hit 3159, it might be like a wick that happens in pre-market and nobody gets to buy it. And then on it goes up. My next target is 5361. And that's what I've got for Palantir.
Okay, let me show something here too then. Oh, I was gonna. I already showed it and I unshowed it. There you go. I'm back. Yeah, since you're talking about the 4-hour chart, I'm going to talk about the 1-hour chart here, and also the shorter time frame here. It's just I'm not that concerned, even if it breaks below like an important fit level for a temporary reason. The reason why is sometimes, I mean, look at the Bollinger Band here. It does look like there's a little bit of like downward tracking to it, and it did break down a little bit underneath here, the 0.618 here, right? Also, it did over here too, but all it really means is that you still have a lot of power to kind of push through. I think we might be doing a little bit very similar kind of morphology here. It almost looks a little bit like a fractal here in a lower time frame. But yeah, that's the 1-hour chart. The daily chart, I can see it potentially coming back down to like the 20-day, rising 20-day. I can see that.
And that's about what level?
55.5, somewhere around there. 55.4, somewhere around there. I mean, I don't know, like 33 would be reasonable. I mean, I'm not sure if this gap's going to close, to be honest with you. I think it could go down a little bit further too. It's entirely possible, but I can totally see it maybe just kind of tap here, maybe a little bit of a wick, or just like a daily candle close over here, closer to like 35.4, kind of touch the daily. It's going to keep moving up too, right? I mean, this is rising right now, so I can see that happening. On the weekly, right now it's just basically doing what it needs to do to kind of cool down here a little bit. That's what it does. Like the last time it has a big giant run up in August, right? Like the first week of August or second week of August, it just kind of pushed up and they just kind of consolidate sideways over here. I see a very, very similar pattern it's trying to do right now. So could it come down all the way down to like 31, to close the gap here? I'm not sure if I would necessarily buy into that. I was also looking for any like bearish divergences too. I'm not really seeing that to show me that this trend has really been that exhausted here on the higher time frame. And also the monthly, this is also part of the reason why we're having a hard time going up, because the upper Bollinger Band right now on the monthly is 36.4. That's exactly going to be a little bit of like a magnet for price to, get sucked into. It's going to have a hard time really breaking above the upper Bollinger Band here too far, because it's already done so for like 2 months in a row, right? So I do see a little bit of stuff kind of pulling it back, but it just seems like what Matt and saying is just have a hard time really come back down that far. If it does get down to like 31 or 33, great. I think it's going to get bought up in like no time. It's just a very, very bullish trend here. So I don't know whether or not it's going to go any lower than that. Some folks are maybe calling like 27, 28, 29. I'm just not sure about that. So that's all. All right, we did well. That was 7 minutes. Bitcoin. Matt, Bitcoin.
BTC. Okay.
Yeah. Nobody's that excited, but yeah.
I'm excited.
Awkward.
I bought a bunch of miners today.
Awkward. Yeah, everybody loves it when it's 66,000. Everybody hates it when it's 60,000. So, well, I love it. Like, more people, like I said, need to get happy about daily chart breakouts and backtest. And sure, it didn't backtest the cloud yet, so it still could get to maybe 59, maybe 59.7, maybe a little bit below.
Yeah.
Right. So still people might freak out more, but this is just a beautiful thing of building a level higher, right? A higher level. Like down here, it's just stepping stones, right? It's basically held this as a floor down here, and now it's trying to build a higher base before it goes to the next level. So really healthy development, in my opinion, what we saw. And we kind of saw this on Monday, right? Monday, it closed below the conversion line. And then Tuesday, today, it just opened below it. So it was kind of indication it was going to go lower. And then what do you know? Some news narratives were out there that did push it lower. And sure enough, it's still a little bit above the true support. So does it have room to go lower? Yes, of course. But I think it's all opportunities. And I think once there is a chance to build a base around that 60,000 level, then I think it will eventually go higher and break out above the 66 and so on and so forth. So just good developments here for Bitcoin and basically the rest of crypto. The daily charts, a lot of them look similar. A lot of them look really similar of backtesting their daily support. So I cannot be bearish of crypto right now. If anything, more bullish at support. And you have a chart, Kat?
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, so instead of looking at the daily chart, this is the weekly chart. I mean, there are a few things that develop here that have happened. First thing is the bonus support band is kind of getting a little bit reclaimed over here. I think we got a very similar morphology with this fractal over here, where it's gone sideways for several months, like it did over here. And we did end up dipping underneath the boomer support band. The boomer support band ended up kind of flattening to like negative sloping here a little bit, and eventually end up just kind of going sideways enough that it end up flatten, create a vulnerability for price to kind of push back up and reclaimed it from resistance to support for it to go up a lot higher, right? What's happening right now? Very similar thing. We broke down underneath. It was a little bit negative sloping here, but now it's kind of turned flat and a little bit positive sloping. Price sniffed out this vulnerability, pushed through above, and what are we doing right now? Doing a little bit of a back test, right? So the bottom of the bonus support band right now is around 61,151. You know, it's maybe a little bit of a wick underneath, kind of like it did over here. I don't know. Like even here, the candle end up closing below the bonus support band, right? So if it ends up closing below, it's not really the end of the world. But I just see this being a very, very similar pattern. Like each stock and asset kind of have their own personality, and that's what looks like Bitcoin wants to do with the cycle. That's kind of what it looks like. Now, in addition to that, you're talking about 59,000 on the daily. I also see a very, very similar level here, which is the bottom of the Super Ichi cloud here on the weekly. It's going to be exactly around 59,000, 58,944 to be exact, right? So can price gravitate back down towards that area? Possible. But I also just want to show you how much support we have right now. You have the boomer support band right here. You have the Tenkan Kitchener conversion baseline of the Super Ichi right here. You have the Super Ichi cloud itself up here. And if you also pull out the Ichimoku cloud, you also have the baseline, which is currently serving as support over here, right? And the worst case, I think we just kind of maybe backtest the Ichimoku cloud over here, which is currently around 56,000. I think that would be like maybe the worst case scenario, but I'm not sure if it's even going to do that. Just look at that. Like I made a post, I think like yesterday. I was just basically saying, yeah, I can see it kind of back tested at 60 to 61,000 zone, which is kind of what it's doing right now. And it could be a wick. Could it go lower? Yes, it can. Right? Can it end up closing underneath right here? Yes, it can. But I'm just not that bearish on Bitcoin anymore at this point. Just looking at the fact that it's tapping all these support areas. Just look at like how it's really touching the baseline over here very perfectly.
And they do this immediately after the weekly or monthly candle close. They do it like clockwork all the time. It's like how have people not figured this out yet? Like immediately, like literally, I think it was the monthly candle close and what, like an hour afterwards, like start things. Literally, maybe even less than an hour, things started to sell off. I'm like, come on, man. This is really obvious. You're just waiting for a bullish close just to freak people out. And it's like, you're not going to fool me, Mr. Market Maker. No.
And Bitcoin has been doing absolutely nothing for 8 months now, or 7 months in one day. I guess I should say that. The Tenkan is still support underneath, you know, kind of like how it was over here. You remember how I was talking about the fractal, right? Even on a higher time frame, you're still seeing something very similar. You know, on the bull market, Bitcoin or any other asset, they ride the blue line, they ride the Tenkan on the way up. That's just kind of what happens, right? If you flip the blue line from resistance to support, it tends to support a bull market. It just keeps on going. Like that's what happens, right? So I think we're still on the junction. This is still a bullish chart, and I don't have anything else to be that scared by it really. It's just a matter of time, I think.
I could show a quick Bitcoin chart and then we can move on. I'd really like to see XRP after this.
Man, that goes for the next 20 minutes.
I thought this would be like the XRP show.
Do you have 2 hours? No.
Let's see. All right, so here's my Bitcoin chart, and you can see that there's a sort of this hastily drawn triangle here that looks like we're in. The triangles are just simply made up of a resistance trend line that slopes down, that eventually intersects with a support line that slopes up, and it gets smaller and smaller in this area until finally it has to be pushed up or down. And I kind of drew this morning during my show kind of a support zone around here, just looking back through the prices before, and it did wick through that support zone. And actually, right now we're just a little bit below it again. Maybe I should have made my support zone a little bit bigger. But this is the crazy thing. Like, on one hand, my brain is expecting for price to come back down here and touch the bottom of this support trend one more time. But at the same time, maybe it doesn't need to do that at all. And I've got this other thing in the back of my head, which is as a pattern trader back in the day, before I was doing other kinds of technical trades, I would look for this pattern right here all the time.
W for winning.
W for winning.
I saw the same thing. I wish that the real blonde broker was here to show us some like harmonic or something, because that just looks like some kind of harmonic.
It is. It's. I'm sure it is a harmonic. This is just a little deeper, a little scarier than I would have expected. I think like a normal W would have done like that,
Yeah.
and instead, right where I would have thought it would have taken off, it went a little deeper. So I don't know if it's just trying to buy more time or what, or
what
maybe
she
you could. No, thank you. Or I could just draw a new triangle that looks like this. Anyway, I can't draw a triangle. That's it. The thing you want to be more focused on is that after Bitcoin does break out of this resistance level, it hit a 382. Actually, no, never mind. Yeah, it should hit 764, come back to 382, and then 1382. Where's my daily chart? No. Oh, sorry. 1D, not D. Yeah, so I'd expect to see Bitcoin go to 94,000, maybe test back. It shouldn't test back this deep if that really is a triangle. Maybe the 50% level. 78,000, then on to, if it does that, then it goes to 150. Ooh, and then maybe 1236. Okay, I'm adjusting my chart even as we speak. And the 2618. So my chart goes to 202,000 now.
Woohoo!
So just keep that in mind when you're talking about cryptocurrency. 94,000 is my next target above. That's it. I'm done with Bitcoin. Let's talk about XRP. I'm so excited.
All right, here it is. And this is, I haven't touched this chart, altered it at all. And this is so proof of how accurate GAN is. Like, look at that, the arcs, boom, boom, 2 weeks in a row. It's pretty gorgeous. And I made a post earlier today. Like how it started and how it's going, right? It's just from end to end. And it's like the beginning of the beginning, really. It looks like it to me. And I might just go out on a limb and say, this could be the month that it breaks the arc. This could be it. I'm just gonna go out on a limb there.
Oh, I'm so hoping.
Yeah, go to $1, right? The top of the monthly Ichimoku cloud. That's what I can really see. And speaking of Ichimoku, let's go to the weekly. And what did it just do today? Well, it just backtested the bottom of the cloud because it got rejected by my GAN resistance. Like, this is not random, right? It's obviously, if there was no resistance here, it would have gone up towards the top of the cloud, but it didn't because there is resistance here. So therefore, it just went back to test support, and that's all it did. And I think with like maybe if the SEC doesn't appeal or whatever narrative you want to throw out there, I think this is going to be maybe the month to go up to $1. I think it has the potential to do that. And if it does break out above this weekly cloud and the arc, then I'm going to get super excited, but not until it breaks $1, right? That's the true excitement. Breaking $1 is the true excitement. This is just the beginning of the beginning of the beginning of the beginning. So it's the beginning.
All right, fans. Thank you, Matt. Let's move on from. Can you hear my recorder, by the way? Can you hear it?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great.
Lightning round.
Oh.
Lightning round. Let's do it. So,
Well,
okay.
since Jim Cramer is bearish on Bitcoin now, let's.
He's also bearish on Palantir. He's bearish on a lot of things that were bullish on.
That's
So hey,
Did you want to share a chart?
Yeah, let's do it. So somebody
Okay.
requested SOFI. I'm just going to show here a couple of things. So this GAN I drew based on weekly. I think I did like 360 and 1. And then basically what you get is a very beautiful kind of market symmetry here, actually. What you're really seeing here is just kind of broke away from this long-term downward trend line. It looks like it's breaking. And the other thing is that there are a lot of confluence over here at the zone over here. I'm going to zoom in here a little bit in terms of kind of show you what I'm seeing here. First of all, I'm going to delete that line here because I don't think that's relevant anymore. I don't think we're
it is a trend line that's broken though. So
yeah, it is trend that's broken. I'm not sure if it's going to go back test because I think I already did that. Right.
Yeah.
The next level over here is this arc over here, which has been holding so far ish maybe a little bit underneath of that, but that's also kind of rejected over here too, right? Why do we get rejected over there? Well, it's also the top of the Ichimoku cloud. You have a lot of pressure that's being built up over here. You have a katana that's underneath right there. So I don't know whether or not it's going to have to come back down to back test the katana or the trend line again before going up, because we are at a support level over here. So a lot of energy being built up here has been forming higher lows and higher highs. If you're into the whole like ascending wedge being bearish thing, then yeah, this is like totally going to break down to like $5. But I don't believe that, obviously, right? I mean, like, you have a bull trend that always starts with ascending wedge. So, so I don't necessarily really get that scary when I see that, but I just think it's funny to see a bunch of bears out there like drawing the ascending wedge and say it's going to break down with a big arrow. But there are a lot of great things there.
Can I just say something about ascending wedges real quick?
Yeah.
The ascending wedge pattern, it is a short-term pattern, and it's like something you look at on a minute chart. If it's an ascending wedge over like 40 minutes, then yeah, that thing's going to lose its, it can't get any higher, and then it just drops off and starts testing supports. But when you're talking about like a daily chart, a weekly chart, a monthly chart, these are real powerful movements. You don't get an ascending wedge over like months and months.
Yeah.
That's actual, that's price building up.
Yeah, it's just price going up, forming higher highs and higher lows. So it's important to do that. But it's interesting to see all kinds of bearish account just drawing ascending wedges. But anyway, you can see how much volatility that it has. Because of this volatility, two things that happen. One is you have the katana here, which generally says that there's a pretty powerful move that might be coming soon. When exactly, I do not know. But when it happens, it's going to separate out. And I think it's going to be a bullish cross over here. And it's probably going to push through the cloud at a vulnerable spot over here. And it's going to go up a lot higher. The other thing I also want to see is something that like Danny's very, very, liking, is the crocodile opening of his mouth here on a weekly, right? With the Bollinger Band, where the top lip right here and the bottom lip right here and the little tongue that Danny always loves, like it looks like it just wants to kind of push higher. Yeah, that's exactly that's his voice right there. Anyway, so yeah, you see how it's like stretch. I got to get out of here. It's stretch, and then it's stretch enough, right? And then now you're potentially getting ready for a breakout. I'm very bullish on SOFI. I think $8 is going to break sometime Q4, and whenever it does, it could be pretty powerful. Another stock that somebody have asked about is AFRM. AFRM has basically got a very, very similar thing going on. With the weekly Bollinger Band expansion, with the tongue kind of still sticking up here a little bit. I mean, sure, it got sideways here for about 5 weeks, so it started kind of contract here a little bit. But usually before a big giant move up, you're going to have a little bit of expansion, contraction before it really kind of push up, right? The volume has really been very, very telling. Is that this whole downtrend has been on low volume. So right now you have these 4 high volume candles. I don't think it's going to go back down that much further. To be honest, I think it's got some pretty decent support. It's broke through the Ichimoku cloud here on very high volume, and just like SOFI, it had a katana right here, So I do think that it might have some room to kind of go down a little bit more, maybe even like to the upper 30s, maybe even 35. I can totally see that potentially to kind of cool down things a little bit. But overall, I'm not bearish on this. Like, look at the volume. It looks like it's just broke through at a high volume, even if it's doing like a little bit of low volume back test. That's a bullish thing.
But on the daily chart, it's at the baseline. It's just a little bit below.
Yeah, I don't care. Yeah, I don't care about that. Yeah, it's like seeing a yellow candle on Danny's daily chart. It could go down a little bit and touch the lower Bollinger Band, in the mid 30s, and that could be a support level. Like whenever things do that, it's forming higher lows. So I don't think it's going to be like this on a downtrend. But like whenever you're basically having on a daily chart, getting close to the lower Bollinger Band, you'll probably get touched. And when it gets touched, usually is a pretty good support level to bounce. Like you might go down a little bit below. I can see it maybe even go down to like 30 like 35. 30, I can see that. And then the next thing is probably going to end up bouncing. Look at it daily too. Look at volume. Like on the downtrend, nobody wants to sell this thing.
Yeah.
So it's probably going to go find some kind of support, maybe somewhere around 35, maybe a little bit lower. I don't care. Like I'm not selling I'm not buying either, to be honest. Like if it goes down here, I'm just going to hold. Like it doesn't matter. I think it's going to go up. So that's AFRM. Is that all the requests that we have? That was a pretty short lightning round.
Mara, I want. Let's do Mara.
You want me to do Mara?
I want to do Mara. Do Mara, please.
Do Mara. You're on Mara.
I bought a bunch
Mara,
today. I
Mara.
saw you guys were chatting about it up on in our little private chat group. I said, that does look pretty good.
Yeah, so the sad thing that I dislike about so far in a month, but again, it doesn't matter because it could all just turn out to be a wick, The sad thing is is kind of like keep on challenging the 20-month moving average, and it keeps on like kind of dipping underneath. The last couple of months here has been forming like a very nice tweezer into the rising 20. So I do think that this is like a bullish indicator. It's probably going to end up wanting to go up higher, right? But this month, I mean, today it was just like, bleh, But again, like this downtrend over here has been on declining volume. I really do think that this thing like wants to break out sooner rather than later. Do I have a can here? I do. How did I draw the can? I think I drew the can based on monthly chart, and I think 180 and 20. Yeah, it just looks like it's basically gravitating towards this horizontal line over here. I don't think it's going to go lower than like 14.2, and then if it goes back to that, I think it will still find support there, and it's probably going to go up after that. So the reason why I have the arrows drawn here is because if you look at the weekly, I don't know if I've shown like tracker this or Matt for that matter, but if you look at like the 100 moving average, it's basically been a very, very beautiful support and resistance zone. Here, and here it's like when things got exhausted, like let's touch 100 again. Give me some support, loan me some money. Oh, you're broke too, And then like back down here is like, oh well, I guess I better start from the grounds here. I didn't go bankrupt. I didn't buy as many private jets with diluting your money. So next thing you know, it just climb. Okay, well it's not bad. We're not broke. So what doesn't kill you make you stronger, right? Let's go back up here. Yo, my old friend, 100 moving average. I'm sorry, I owe you money. Here you go. So eventually, like, oh, okay, yeah, you pay me back. Okay, you can go. And it just goes up. And this is the move that really got everybody really bullish, and everybody's like super, excited about it. And next thing you know, like this is pretty important horizontal zone level over here. And guess what it did? It eventually gravitated back towards the 100. And it's finding support here at the 100. And whenever it does that, whenever it turns from negative to positive sloping, whenever it turns from negative to positive sloping, this does look like a beginning of something, doesn't it? It did go sideways for a very long time this time compared to last time, but I do think that it's just a little bit of a different cycle. I think the cycle of the liquidity injection is just a little bit slower. The sideways move over here is also on declining volume, so it's just kind of getting ready for a bigger move. I think like this volume move over here is kind of like how it was over here, and then I think like maybe a bigger volume move is going to probably come up soon. It's been forming for the most part. Again, like you can argue like these might be a little bit lower here compared to here, but for the most part, if you look at more of like a higher time frame, it's been for the most part higher highs and higher lows, right? So I do think that this thing is probably going to go up together with Bitcoin, together IWM, together increase in global liquidity. I'm not that bearish on it. I have a position, so I cannot get bearish whenever you have like the like global liquidity like just had a breakout just recently, right? Like I cannot be that bearish. Like whenever you have like a little breakout over here, that's when like the last bull market for Mara started, right? Like whenever you have the breakout over here, a few months later, it just shot up. Over here, this happened a few months ago. Maybe getting up for something beautiful. I don't know. I'm biased, so don't listen to me. You guys want to show your charts, or are we going to call it a day?
Well, somebody's talking about BTBT.
BTBT. All right, I'll do that one too. I guess.
While you pull that up, I just want to read off. Vivian said, "Remember to like the video and comment to support the hardworking trio. Have to run. Have a good night, and thank you for being objective on red days."
Yes, thank you for being objectifying. But anyway, 180 and 2. So this is my GAN that I have. Pretty decent market symmetry, not the best, but so far it bounced from an angle. So far it's broken, like it's found support here at the arc. It looks like it wants to go higher, maybe back to $5. So we'll see if it pushes through this time because it got rejected here the last couple times. But yeah, I mean, I'm not really bearish on this chart either. I have a small position on it. The same thing I was talking about Mara also applies to also applies a little bit here to
Yeah.
BTBT. It's doing a very, very similar thing. It's turning a negative sloping 100 to a positive sloping and starting support, right? So there are a lot of these kind of positive developments that are seeing a lot of these Bitcoin miners. I think they're gonna do okay. You know, I'm the lower it went from where it was, like I think the more bullish you're supposed to become. So I was probably, you know, a little bit too bullish, you know, on like the top of range over here, but I didn't buy the top of range. I still wait for it to kind of come back down to the bottom of the range. The thing that sucks is if you buy the top of the range here in CleanSpark over here, you buy $24 here, you buy at a very, very high price, and you're currently like crying right now. But I wasn't buying up here. I was buying like around 15, 16, 14, somewhere around here. And then my average right now is like around 11 because I also bought like down here. So yeah, I'm still buying right now. But yeah, CleanSpark, same thing, 100 moving average. Look how beautiful that is. Resistance. You know, like borrow money. Yeah, borrow money here, right? Actually, here, like oh, you didn't repay me last time. Okay, you pay me. Okay, fine, go borrow money. Okay, fine. Now pay me back. Nope. You haven't paid me back. Nope. You haven't paid me back yet. Nope. Pay me back. Okay, you can go. Here, you know, back testing that area again. So it's a very nice trend, if you will. I think something is setting up to be pretty decent. And also just look at these charts. Like you don't use any indicators. I'm just gonna say one thing for like 30 seconds. I'm gonna like shut up. These things they look like they want to go up on an elevator, and then they climb the stairs down. They, you know, like they go up on the elevator and they climb the stairs down. You know, like it's a bull market. So that's all. That's all I have to say.
So, Kat, your current username is Cantonese Cat, right?
Canton Meow.
Canton Meow. Yeah, that's my
Canton Meow.
That's my name on X. Yeah, Canton Meow. Yeah.
Well, I just have one last question for you guys. How do you feel? Do you feel great? You feel great again?
Yeah. Well, I'll let you know. I don't know. I feel mediocre at best.
Oh no, you sound great. You sound great tonight. I enjoy listening to you every time and talking with you every time.
Oh, so sweet. But yeah, we got 6 minutes for the debate, huh?
Yeah, go pee, get some snacks, and enjoy the show, I guess.
Yeah.
Are they going to be master debaters?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that question? I did not understand that question. I'm foreign, you see. What do you said, master debater?
Yes, I know you are the master debater. You are one of the best. Yes.
I single-handedly become one of the best master debater there is.
Single-handedly.
I hear you take the single hand.
With that note,
Yes. Thank you guys so much for putting up with our foolishness and hanging out with us again tonight. And we'll be back to do it again. Are we gonna do a Saturday show?
I don't know. I want to say the morning show. I think we can do that.
I missed last Saturday show. That was on me.
No, it's yeah. I mean, I couldn't do it either. But I think we should be able to do it this Saturday morning.
Cool. All right. Well, look out for announcements from us. So hopefully we'll get a Saturday show together for you guys.
Yeah.
It was a bit more laid back and kind of fun.
Yeah, and Matt we didn't get demonetized today, so congratulations.
Well, we don't know. We don't know yet.
We tried really hard at the end there, though.
Yeah.
It's a lot of puns, but nothing offensive.
All right, Matt, Kat, thank you guys so much. Have a good night.
Take care. Bye.
Good night, everybody else. Thank you for watching.
Good night.